There we go. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Hello, everyone. Just getting the ducks in a row here for tonight's webinar. I thank you so much for joining, making sure that all systems are a go. Let's see, we are on Insta, on YouTube, on Facebook. Thank you, everyone, for chiming in. Give folks a few moments here to grab their favorite beverage and maybe some dinner, right? Feel free. And tune in to what I'm reviewing with you tonight. Great. Great, great, great. We'll just give it 60 seconds here and then we'll jump right in. Understand. Water. Very nice. Uh-oh. Someone's calling me. Well, they'll have to call back. Okay. Never fails. I will try them back after tonight's webinar. Great. Well, hello, everyone. Good evening, good night, and welcome to tonight's webinar. Avoid these costly mistakes, and Arizona first-time home buyer class webinar, right? Anyway, I am Natasha Tomlinson. I am a real estate agent, a realtor here in Arizona, licensed in 2005. And during that time, I have helped many home buyers and home sellers navigate the Arizona real estate market. Tonight, I am sharing with you some crucial insights. Over the next 30 minutes or so, I'll review some common mistakes that home buyers have made and how to avoid them. And then we'll wrap up with a little Q&A session at the end. All right, so let's dive in. First though, I want to touch briefly on some news that came about today. We have the Federal Reserve has cut interest rates by 25 basis points, making this the second rate reduction this year, which is really great news. Okay, great news if you're looking to purchase real estate. Let's put it that way. All right, this quarter point rate cut, it comes as the United States economy prepares to shift gears towards a new president. And some top takeaways from this is the Fed funds rate is now in the range from 4.5 to 4.75%. And that is not the same as mortgage interest rates. Remember, the Fed funds rate is the cost the banks carry of borrowing money, right? So despite the Fed's September cut, mortgage rates, they have risen over the past month, right? Still, these rate cuts offer Americans relief from the high cost of credit cards, high cost of auto loans, and other debts, HELOCs, things of that nature. Now, the general picture is for the real estate market is that things are stable. Our real estate market is stable. There is demand in many areas. We still have plenty of homes available on the resale side, homes available for sale on new home communities. The overall volume of sales is low, but for those who choose to jump into the market today, they are seeing a tremendous opportunity. All right. So again, let's dive into the crucial mistakes that we see home buyers make in today's market. Yes, no, maybe so? Yes. All right. Mistake number one. And this mistake is particularly heartbreaking because It stops people from even trying to achieve their dream of home ownership. And I just want to break down some common misconceptions and shed light on the reality of home buying qualifications today. All right. Yes, we will talk a little bit about credit scores. Many people don't want to talk about credit scores, but it is one of those necessary evils, okay? Many people believe they need to have a perfect credit score to buy real estate. And I've had past clients tell me, listen, Natasha, my credit, it is not perfect, and there's no way I could possibly qualify for a mortgage. But here's the truth. While a higher score, it can certainly get you a better interest rate, you can often qualify for a mortgage for a home loan with a score in the low sixes and the fives. All right. And sometimes, really depending on the program, you can qualify for something with a 620, for a 580, 550, 500 in some cases. So don't count yourself out. Now, let's talk a little bit about the debt myth. I often hear potential home buyers worry about their student loan debt, their medical debt, their car payments. They assume that any debt automatically disqualifies them. And in reality, it's more about your debt to income ratio than the absolute amount of debt that you carry. Lenders typically, they look at a certain ratio. They want to see, 43, 44% or less, but really don't worry about that. The important thing is that you talk to a lending professional and see what lending programs are available to you today and what could be available to you in the near future. So don't let those student loans, credit card debts, medical debts, don't let those things stop you. A third big misconception is about income. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people tell me, listen, I don't make enough to buy a home. I see these home prices today. There's no way I could ever afford that. And here's the thing. All right. There's no set income requirement for buying a home. It's about how your income relates to the home price and how that relates to your other debts. All right. We're talking about you entering the real estate market as a first-time home buyer. This does not have to be your forever home. Remember also, there are programs designed specifically for low to moderate income buyers, and you may be surprised at what you can afford. All right. So is the reality of these home buying qualifications. The truth is that they're much more flexible than most people think. Lenders, they look again at your overall financial picture, your credit, your debts, your income, your assets, your employment history. It is a holistic view, not just one magic number that determines your entire financial life. All right. Let's give you an example. Not too long ago, worked with a young couple who thought that they couldn't possibly purchase real estate because of their student loan debt. They almost gave up before even starting. But when we sat down and looked at their entire financial picture, we found that they actually qualified for a first-time homebuyer program. They're now happily settled in their home, building equity instead of paying rent. And this brings me to the next point, the importance of getting accurate, up-to-date information. The home buying landscape is always changing, with new programs and options becoming available all the time. What was true 5 years ago or even last year, it may not be true today. So let's move on to mistake number 2. Mistake number 2 is not taking advantage of first-time home buyer programs, not leveraging these assistance programs that are available to you. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? All right. Folks, this is a big one. People are leaving money on the table. Arizona offers several fantastic programs designed specifically to help you get into your first home. And missing out on these could cost you thousands of dollars. There is a program, $6,500 for someone who, and it's not dependent on where they buy, it's depending on where they're moving from. All right. So say they live just to pick an intersection near Grand Canyon University, for say, and they want to move to another area of Phoenix, or they live over by Metro Center, and they want to move to a different area. They can get up to $6,500 to move to a different area and apply that towards down payment and apply that towards any closing costs, and it doesn't have to be repaid. I mean, this is huge. There's sort of programs like that all over the place available. So I want you to make sure that you are investigating these things. And as I mentioned, Arizona, they offer several fantastic programs designed specifically to help you get into your first home, and missing out on this, again, could cost you thousands of dollars. I just mentioned one, $6,500. All right. There are down payment assistance programs. They are specific to a location. There are area. They're dependent on the income that you make. Some may require you to stay in the home for a few years, and others won't. Some may require you for it to be your primary residence. Some may require you to be a first home. Some don't require this to be your first home. Some offer 100% zero down payment programs. So again, make sure we leave no stone unturned and get you whatever monies are available. Right now, mistake number three. Mistake number three is being aware of the builder's marketing machine. Now, these new home builders, they have built some amazing properties out there for you to look at and possibly live in. A lot of times they're on the outskirts of town, so that has to make sense for you. But again, new construction is booming and is something to certainly be aware of. But let's talk a little bit about the builder's tactic that they get to bring you through the front door. Now, don't get me wrong. As I say, new home builders, they create beautiful homes. And it is really important to understand the strategies that they use so that you can make an informed decision. The first one is the model home trap. Okay, builders, they showcase their model homes with all the bells and whistles. I mean, it's meant for you to fall in love as soon as you walk through the home. Upgraded finishes, premium appliances, professional staging is designed to make you, again, fall in love. But remember, what you see isn't always what you get at the base price. Another tactic is the urgency play. You might hear things like, wow, this is the last home in this community. This one will never be available again. Prices are going up next week. And while this may be true sometimes, it's often a sales tactic to push you to make a quick decision. Builders also have preferred lenders, and they might offer incentives for using their lender, like money towards closing costs or upgrades or free appliances or free appraisal. And these can sound great, and sometimes they are great, but it's important to shop around and ensure that you are getting the best overall deal. Lastly, watch out for that upgrade upsell. Once you're emotionally invested in a home, it's easy to justify upgrades that can quickly blow your budget. All right. So just be mindful of those things. Let's move on to mistake number 4, shall we? Number 4 is skipping the home inspection. And when the market gets wild and crazy, it's one of those easy things to do, skipping or waiving the home inspection period. But remember, skipping the home inspection, it is like buying a car without looking under the hood. All right. It might look great on the outside, but you could be in for some expensive surprises down the road. So let me explain why home inspections are so vital in the home buying process. First and foremost, a home inspection, it gives you an unbiased professional assessment of the property's condition. All right, the physical home inspection. It is your chance to really understand what you're buying beyond what you can see with your eyes. And this is crucial whether you're looking at a brand new house or a 1920s bungalow or a 1960s ranch. Secondly, the inspection period, it gives you a bit of leverage, right? I mean, if you uncover some significant issues with the house, then that could be an opportunity to negotiate for repairs, maybe a price reduction, or if it's just more than your budget can handle, more than your skill set can handle, it's an opportunity for you to walk away and for that seller to find the right buyer for that house. Now, without an inspection, you're essentially agreeing to buy the house as is, warts and all right? Also, a good inspection, it saves you money in the long run. A lot of people, they're concerned about the upfront $400 or $500 thereabouts that you pay for a home inspection. But we're talking about purchasing a $3, $4, $5, $6 million house. So spending a few $100s to know about the general condition of the home is money well spent, in my opinion. The home inspection, it will identify potential issues before they become major problems, allowing you to budget for future repairs and maintenance. Now, let's talk a little bit about what that standard home inspection covers. It covers the exterior evaluation, siding, grading, garages, if there are any, drainage, making sure that the water, when it rains in Arizona, and it does rain in Arizona, that water is moving away from the home. The structural elements, looking at the walls, the ceiling, the roof, the foundation, the roof and the attic, checking for any leaks, any evidence of any past leaks that have taken place. Looking at the plumbing systems, the pipes, drains, water heaters, the pressure, electrical systems, looking all the visible wiring, service panels, breakers, fuses, looking at the heating, cooling, and the ductwork, examining that thoroughly. The interior walls, windows, doors, stairs, if there are any stairs, are all inspected. Look at the fireplace if there is one, appliances, if those appliances are available and are present. And remember, while an inspection, it is comprehensive, a standard home inspection, it does not cover everything. So depending on the property, you might want to consider additional specialized inspections, like a termite inspection or other wood destroying organism, pest inspection. Maybe depending on the area, you may want to consider radon testing, mold testing, asbestos testing in older homes, chimney inspections if there's a fireplace, pool and spa inspections if there's a pool and spa. Let me just give you a quick story. I know, here's Natasha with another story about past clients of mine who they decided to walk away from a house. All right. This would have been their first home. And it was an older home, but it had a lot of character and it was an area that they wanted to be in. And they were ready to get their hands dirty. They were not afraid of putting some lipstick on this pig. But after doing the home inspection and looking at the roof and the sewer, because it was an older home, so there were some issues there, and looking at the electrical panel and some other things, they realized that what it took to bring this house up to what they thought was livable condition, comfortable for them, was going to take a lot of money and more than they had. So they decided to walk away from that particular home. All right. Another instance, another couple of past a client of mine, first time home buyers again, they were looking at buying a home in 1960s ranch. The home, again, it looked great. It was a flip property. It had the colors that everyone loves and the fancy flooring. But there were some issues with the electrical system. And it wasn't up to code, and there were some potential safety risks there. So with that information from the unbiased third party, from the home inspector, we were able to go back to the seller and get a reduction in price to offset the cost of that repair. All right. And if we hadn't done the inspection, then my clients would not have known about this issue because they're not electricians, right? And they would have found out about it later on down the road when they're already homeowners. So home inspections, they can help you plan for future expenses, right? I mean, the home buyer, you can bring your trusty, friend who's a handyman, but still it's really good to have an unbiased opinion from someone to come and look at the home, give you a report, detailed report with the condition of the property, with pictures and any suggestions on how to remedy the situation, right? They take a look at the roof. Maybe the roof is nearing the end of its life, or the water heater is showing signs of age. This information, it allows you to budget and avoid surprises down the road, right? Lastly, don't forget about that peace of mind factor. Knowing that your potential new home has been thoroughly examined by a professional, it can help you feel confident about your purchasing decision. I mean, this is a big purchase, and a lot of times this is the largest purchase that someone makes. So you really want to feel good about what you're doing, right? Feel confident about your decision. Now, let's transition to the next mistake, because remember, the home inspection period is not just about the physical inspection of the property. You're also taking a look at the neighborhood and examining that thoroughly during the inspection period, taking a look at your insurance programs that are available to you as well. So again, you're looking at the community, not just the structure. And the neighborhood, it can have a huge impact on your quality of life and your home's future value. Now, why is researching the home so important? First, it really ensures that the area aligns with your lifestyle and your needs today and your needs in the future. A neighborhood that's perfect for a young professional, it may not be ideal for a family with school-age children. Secondly, understanding the neighborhood helps you gauge the potential for appreciation. Is the area up and coming? Are there plans for new amenities or developments that could increase the property's value? And remember also, thorough research can uncover potential issues that might not be apparent during a brief visit. Maybe the quiet street becomes a major thoroughfare during rush hour, or perhaps there is a history of flooding in that area. What should you be looking at when researching a neighborhood? Well, here are some key factors. Right? Take a look at the schools. And you may say, Natasha, I don't have children. I have no intentions of having children. And that's perfectly okay. That is your decision. But know that school quality can significantly impact property value. Take a look at the crime rates of the area, the crime statistics, and the trends over time, and always weigh the crime in the new area against the area you're currently living in, because crime is everywhere. Take a look at future development. Are there plans for new shopping centers, parks, and other amenities, or are there less desirable developments in that area? What about transportation? What about commute times, walkability, if that's important to you, public transit options, if that's important to you? What other amenities exist? Shopping, restaurants, parks, other facilities that are important to you? What about natural hazards? Is the area prone to flooding, wildfire fires, and other natural disasters? What about the noise levels? You may work nights, and so you don't want a ton of noise during the day, or vice versa. Maybe you're working from home and you need somewhat of a peaceful environment while you're trying to navigate this work-life balance in your space. So make sure you visit the neighborhood at different times of day to get a true sense of the noise level. What is the community vibe? Does the neighborhood feel like a place where you'd fit in and be comfortable? And now, where would you find all this information? Well, you can take a look at school district websites. You can look at government websites, crime mapping websites like crimestops.com. Take a look at the walk score, local news sources, FEMA flood maps to understand the flood risks in an area. Social media also has various Facebook groups. Nextdoor has groups as well to help you get a sense of the community dynamic. And then you can also speak with your realtor, your real estate professional, who has access to a wealth of information, a wealth of data that can be invaluable to your research. All right. So now let's dive in to our next mistake, skipping the Homeowners Association document review. And I know a lot of people, we don't like looking over all these documents. I mean, there's a lot of paperwork with real estate, right? Who knew? Well, I'm telling you, there's a lot of paperwork, right, involved with real estate. But it's another crucial step that people need not overlook. All right. So what does HOA stand for? HOA is your homeowners association. And that is an organization in many communities, and it makes and enforces the rules for the properties and the residents in that community. In Arizona, HOAs are incredibly common, especially in newer developments. Now, why is reviewing these documents so crucial? Well, when you buy a property in a homeowners association community, you're not just buying a home. Again, you're entering into agreement with that homeowners association, with that community, that HOA. And that agreement can affect everything from what color you paint the house to whether you can park an RV in the driveway. Skipping the HOA document review is like signing a contract without reading it. You might be agreeing to rules and financial obligations that you're not aware of, and that could significantly impact your lifestyle and your budget. So, what do these HOA documents typically include? They include the CC&Rs, the covenants, conditions, and restrictions. And that is the main governing document in the community. It really outlines the rules of a community, covering things like the architectural controls, pet policies, use of common areas. It includes the rules and regulations, more details on the day-to-day rules that complement the covenants, conditions, and restrictions. There are financial documents in there that if you're getting a loan, your lender will be very interested in to know about the current budget, the reserve study, and any planned special assessments. There will be information, any bylaws, understanding how the HOA operates, how the board members are elected, how the meetings are conducted, how often those meetings are conducted. There'll be minutes from past meetings in there as well, discussing any current issues in the community, and again, how the board operates. There may be community updates, newsletter in there also, kind of give you a sense of the community culture. And when you're reviewing these documents, and a standard Arizona real estate contract does give you time to review these documents, sometimes you can get a hold of them beforehand. When you are reviewing these documents, some key areas to focus on the financial health. Again, your lender, if you are using a lender, will be very interested in that as well. To know if the HOA is financially stable. Are there enough reserves? Is there enough money for major repairs and replacements? All right. What is the fee structure? What are the HOA fees? How often are they paid? What do they cover? And how often have they been increased in the past? Are there any special assessments planned for this community? Take a look at the rules and regulations and pay close attention to how those rules and regulations could affect your current and future lifestyle. Maybe you plan on living there today, but you want to live here for a year, 2 years, and then you're building your rental portfolio. Does that community allow rentals? All right. And does it allow rentals by the month, 6-month period, by the year? What are the pet restrictions? Are there any pet restrictions? Do they allow home-based businesses? What are the amenities that the homeowners association provides, and are they well maintained? The management, is it professionally managed or is it self-managed? All right. And how does that operate? What about the insurance? And this is a big one, particularly with condo communities. What does that master policy cover? What is the deductible for the community? What is the deductible per unit? That's important. Also, your lender will be very interested in that. What about any litigation, any legal disputes, any upcoming litigation, that homeowners association? How about violations and fines? How are those handled? Taking the time to review the HOA documents thoroughly, it can benefit you in several ways. Again, you avoid surprises. You know exactly what to expect when you buy. You're able to budget accurately and understand all potential costs. It helps you determine if the property truly fits your budget. Makes you aware if this is really a lifestyle fit for you, and ensures that your lifestyle aligns with the community rules and your plans for the property. It again, that peace of mind factor, knowing you've done your due diligence, it can make you more confident in your purchase decision. Well, listen, Arizona, we covered a lot. We covered a lot in tonight's webinar, right? Avoid these costly mistakes. So let's do a little bit of a recap for you, as I'm going on and on. let's review a few things, shall we? All right. Some key takeaways. Do not count yourself out before you get started. All right, take advantage of these home buyer programs. Take advantage of the down payment assistance programs that are available to you. Don't get sucked into the new home builder machine. They have some amazing homes and communities if it's a good fit for you, but be aware of what you're buying. All right. Do not skip the home inspection. Do not completely waive your home inspection period. Read the documents that you're preparing to sign. Ask questions. If you don't fully understand what someone is saying to you, ask them to say it again. Ask them to explain, hey, I don't know what that word is. There's a lot of new terminology in a real estate contract. And a lot of people, they just don't know what it is. And they just figure, I don't need to know that. I don't want to ask. But just ask. All right. Your real estate professional, they'll go over it with you. They'll go over it with you till you get it. And if you need to ask the question again because you just don't remember what was said, that's fine. Ask again. All right. Ask it, email it, text it until you're comfortable with the answer. All right. Remember, these mistakes, they can cost you time, money, and a whole lot of stress. So armed with the knowledge and some of that we went over today, you can be ahead of the game. So again, some key takeaways from today. Don't assume that you cannot buy. Get the facts first. All right. Even if you can't buy today because of a debt that you have to get down a little bit, your credit score isn't quite there, you could be way closer than you think you are. Or the way that you think you need to pay off debt is actually hurting you. That happens so much, so often. It's actually hurting you and prolonging your home buying journey. So let's get you in front of a lending professional before we make assumptions about what you can afford. Explore available programs for first-time home buyers, down payment assistance programs, folks that are self-employed. There's a number of programs available to you also. Some require tax returns, some don't. Again, very important to research the programs that are available to you today. Approach new constructions with your eyes wide open and a critical mindset. Always get the home inspection. Always research the neighborhood. Review those homeowners association documents thoroughly before committing to a purchase. And remember that buying property, it is a journey. It is okay to take it one step at a time. It is perfectly okay to ask questions. And the goal isn't just to buy a house, but to buy the right home for you at the right price in the right location for you today. Again, this does not have to be your forever home. It is just stepping you into home ownership, getting you to the point where you have stability with your home purchase, where you're building network, where you're working for your money and your money is working for you. All right. So what is your next steps? You're like, okay, Natasha, on and on and on, blah, blah, blah. What do we do from here? Well, if you want to talk to me and go over what your particular situation is and what you're looking for in a home and what you want to do and how soon you want to do it and all your concerns, give me a call. All right. Shoot me a text. Let's schedule some time. And we'll talk a little bit about that. Develop a personalized home buying strategy for you. We'll research the down payments programs that are available here in Arizona, give you a list of different resources. And what I ask you to do is to share this information with any friends and family, anyone you know who is considering purchasing real estate in the near future. Again, knowledge is power. And the more informed buyers that we have out there, the healthier our real estate market will be. Folks, I thank you so much for chiming in today and for listening to me go on and on about real estate. So if you have questions, again, feel free to reach out. In the meantime, let me give you idea of where you can contact me, right? Let's do that. That sounds like it would be a good idea. And I know that life gets very busy and we have all sorts of things happening in our personal lives right now. So I appreciate your time, the time that you took to listen to me today. And if I can help you further, even just to answer some questions, feel free to reach out. There's my number. Feel free to call or text me, and we'll connect. All right. Until then, you guys have a wonderful night, and take good care of yourselves. Ta-ta for now.